This is Tony G here from Tony'sPicks.com with our NFL Pick Show here for Sunday, January 5th. We'll have picks from all 14 games. For more free pick videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you like our content, give us a like, a thumbs up. We greatly appreciate it. Let's get this one underway. Jaguars and Colts here Sunday afternoon. All right, here we go. Jacksonville left tackle out on defense. An end is out with linebacker questionable. Indianapolis quarterback Anthony Richardson out. The defensive starter is healthy. The Colts have a slight injury advantage based on the Dr. Chow ratings. Both defenses have high ratings. Jaguars offense, the lowest health rating at 76.8. Jacksonville now 4-12 after their 20-13 home win to Tennessee. The Jaguars gained 295 yards, 122 rushing for 3.7 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 337 yards to the Volunteers, with 159 rushing for 5.3 yards a carry. Mac Jones completed 15 of 22 passes for 174 yards with 2 touchdowns. Indianapolis fell to 7-9 after their 45-33 road defeat to the Giants. The Colts put up 446 yards with 126 rushing for 3.8 yards a carry. Offensively, they allowed 389 yards to the Giants with 309 passing yards on 23 attempts. Joe Flacco here, 26 of 38 passing for 330 yards with 2 touchdowns but 2 picks. Joe Flacco will start quarterback for Indy. The Colts defense has been horrid in their past 3 games, allowing 35 points per game, 67% completion rate, 7.5 yards per pass attempt. The Jaguars defense in their past 3 games, allowing 4.5 yards a carry with 59% completion rate. Here, 21 points per game. Jaguars have covered 3 of 4 against the division. Pick here will be on Jacksonville plus 3.5. Bills and Patriots Sunday afternoon. All right, we got Buffalo receiver Cooper out on defense, and linebackers out. New England quarterback Drake May and tight end Hunter Henry questionable. Their center out on defensive safety and corner out. Their strong safety and 2 linebackers questionable. Buffalo has a slight injury advantage based on the Chow ratings. Buffalo now 13-3 after their 40-14 home win to the Jets. The Bills gained 348 yards, 97 rushing for 2.9 yards a carry. On defense, they held the Jets to 281 yards. 169 passing on 32 attempts. Josh Allen here, 16 of 27 passing for 182 yards with 2 touchdowns. New England now 3-13 after a 40-7 home defeat to the Chargers. The Patriots put up 181 yards, 96 rushing for 4.8 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 428 yards to the Chargers with 147 rushing for 4 yards a carry. Drake May here, 12 of 22 passing for 117 yards and a touchdown. Bills locked in the number 2 seed, unlikely to play starters after a drive or 2. Mitchell Trubisky is expected to see action. He's thrown 5 passes this season. He played in 5 games last year with Pittsburgh and completed 63% of his passes for 5.9 yards per pass attempt. Media reports has May playing here on Sunday. Jacoby Brissett and Joe Milton backup, but Buffalo must play next week in the wild card round and is likely to have backup see the bulk of the work. Patriots have averaged 4.6 yards per run the past 3 games. The rushing numbers have been better at home. Remember, there are playoff games on Saturday, so Buffalo could be looking at a short week here. The pick here will be on New England here, plus 3.5. Commanders and Cowboys here. This is action for Sunday afternoon. All right, we got Washington center doubtful on defensive corners out. Dallas left tackle questionable on defensive tackle, linebacker, and safety are questionable. The Commanders have an injury advantage based on the child ratings, and it's on each side of the football. We've got here at Washington now 11-5 after a 30-24 home win to Atlanta. The Commanders gained 412 yards with 216 rushes for 6 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 337 yards to the Falcons with 126 rushing for 5.5 yards a carry. Jaden Daniels, 24 of 26 passes for 227 yards with 3 touchdowns and a pick. Dallas now 7-9, a 41-7 road defeat to Philadelphia. The Cowboys put up 268 yards, 127 rushing for 4.2 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 376 yards to the Eagles with 197 passing yards on 19 attempts. Cooper rushed 15 of 28 passes for 147 yards with a touchdown and 2 picks. Washington's clinched a playoff spot, a win, and they hold on to the 6th seed. They lost in a Green Bay win. They fall to the 7th seed. Dallas has played hard despite being eliminated from the playoffs and a head coach on a contract year. I don't see it in the Commanders' best interest to risk injuries and play starters against a divisional rival with a road playoff game next week. Obviously a Saturday playoff game is always a possibility, which impacts recovery time if they play starters. So you could be looking at a short week. We don't know these things. The Commanders' defense over their past 5 games allowing 5.2 yards per run. The Cowboys over their past 3 games averaging 21 points with 65% completion rate, 6.7 yards pass attempt. Look for a bounce back after that humiliation last week. Pick here will be on Dallas plus 6.5. Next up, we got Giants and Eagles here Sunday afternoon. All right, New York center and right tackle out. On defense, the linebackers out. Philadelphia quarterback Hurts is out. Many starters on both sides of the field doubtful. New York now 3-13 after a 45-33 home win to the Colts. Giants gained at 389 yards, 80 rushing for 2.7 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 446 yards to the Colts with 320 passing yards on 38 attempts. Drew Lock here, 17-23 passing. 309 yards with 4 touchdowns. Philadelphia now is 13-3, a 41-7 home win to Dallas. The Eagles posted 376 yards, 179 rushing for 4.3 yards a carry. Defensively, they held the Cowboys to 268 yards, 141 passing on 29 attempts. Kenny Pickett, 10-15 passing for 143 yards and a touchdown. Philadelphia has clinched the 2nd seed and will host a playoff game next weekend. There are playoff games on Saturday, so a short week is always possible. Backup quarterback Kenny Pickett is doubtful with a rib injury. Media reports have third-string Tanner McKee preparing to start for the Eagles. A 6th-round draft pick out of Stanford in 2023 who's thrown 4 passes this year with 2 touchdown passes last week against Dallas. New York quarterback Drew Lock threw 4 touchdowns, passed for over 300 yards in victory last week. New York has shown they want to win based on last week's results here. So the pick here will be on Giants here plus 2.5. Bears and the Packers. This one here on Sunday afternoon. Chicago left guard out. Their defensive starters are healthy. Green Bay receiver Watson questionable on defense. A linebacker and safety out. Chicago fell to 4-12 after a 63 home win on Thursday to Seattle. The Bears gained 179 yards, 103 rushing for 4.5 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 265 yards to the Seahawks with 122 rushing for 4.9 yards a carry. Caleb Williams, 16-28 passing for 122 yards with a pick. Green Bay moves to 11-5 after their 27-25 road defeat to Minnesota. The Packers put up 271 yards, 104 rushing for 4.3 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 441 yards to the Vikings with 372 passing yards on 43 attempts. Jordan Love, 19-30 passing for 185 yards on a touchdown. Green Bay has clinched a playoff berth and is the 7th seed. They can move up only to a 6th seed with a win and a Commanders loss. Don't see the Packers risking more injuries on defense by playing their starters for any length of time for seeding purposes. They are on the road in the playoffs next week. Again, you could always face a short week. You never know about these games being scheduled on Saturday. Back up for Love, Malik Willis, who was a career 61% completion rate passer. Pick here will be holding the nose with the Bears, plus the 10. Panthers and the Falcons. This one's on Sunday afternoon. Carolina receiver, the right guard and a right tackle questionable. On defense, a linebacker, corner, nickelback are out with an end questionable. Atlanta fullbacks out with receiver Mooney questionable. The defensive starters are healthy. Atlanta has a massive injury advantage based on the Dr. Chow ratings. Carolina has several key starters on IR. It is a wide margin on both sides of the field here for the advantage here for this Falcons team health-wise. Carolina 4-12 after a 48-14 road defeat to Tampa Bay. The Panthers gained 240 yards, 39 rushing for 3 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 551 yards to the Buccaneers with 349 passing yards on 32 attempts. Bryce Young here, 15 of 28 passes for 203 yards with 2 touchdowns. Atlanta now 8-8, a 30-24 road defeat at Washington. The Falcons gained 337 yards, 126 rushing for 5.5 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 412 yards to the Commanders with 216 rushing for 6 yards a carry. Michael Penix here, 19-35 passing for 203 yards, touchdown, and a pick. An Atlanta win and Tampa Bay loss, and the Falcons win the NFC South. The Panthers' defense in their past 3 games allowing 36 points a game, 5.7 yards per rush, 70% completion rate, 8 yards per pass attempt. Their offensive numbers have improved during the second half of the year. The Falcons in their past 3 games rushing for 4.7 yards a carry, 67% completion rate, 7.7 yards per pass attempt. Defensively, the Falcons over this period giving up 25 points per game with 4.9 yards per rush, 69% completion rate. Carolina 12-4 the over this season. The pick here will be on Carolina Atlanta over 48. Texans and Titans Sunday afternoon. All right, here we go. Houston right guard is out on offense. On defense, a tackle and corner are out with a linebacker questionable. Tennessee receiver Boyd and right tackle are out. Running back Pollard and tight end are questionable. On defense, a linebacker and safety out. Houston has a significant injury advantage based on the Chow ratings. Houston fell to 9-7 with their 31-2 home defeat to Baltimore. The Texans gained just 211 yards, 58 rushing for 3.4 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 432 yards to the Ravens with 251 rushing for 5.8 yards a carry. C.J. Stroud, 17-31 passing for 185 yards with a pick. Tennessee now 3-13. A 20-13 road defeat at Jacksonville. The Titans put up 332 yards, 159 rushing for 5.3 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 295 yards to the Jaguars with 122 rushing yards for 3.7 yards a carry. Mason Rudolph, 19-31 passing for 193 yards with a touchdown and pick. Temperatures will be 35 degrees, 10-mile-per-hour wind. A 94% chance of snow here in this game. Houston has won the FC South and is locked into a 4th seed. They usually play the Saturday playoff game. So interesting with Houston, right? They usually get that Saturday game. So they could be looking at a short week next week. Texans quarterback Stroud admitted to feeling soreness. Backups could see the bulk work of the action here for Houston. But Davis Mills is the backup. He has experience as a starter. He has shown he has thrown for 14 passes this season. Will Levis to start for the Titans. Tennessee has failed to cover all 7 home games. Just prefer Mills over Levis, although Rudolph could see action. Pick here will be on Houston plus 1.5. The Saints and Buccaneers here for action on Sunday afternoon. All right, we got New Orleans running back Kamara doubtful, tight end Johnson questionable. On defense, the linebackers out and questionable. Tampa Bay has significant injury advantage based on the Doc Child ratings. The Saints offense has the lowest rating at 60.8 based on their players on the IR. The Bucs offense has the highest health rating at 89. New Orleans drops to 5-11 after their 25-10 home defeat to Vegas. The Raiders, the Saints gained 265 yards, 81 rush for 6.2 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 388 yards to the Raiders with 156 rushing yards for 4 yards a carry. Spencer Rattler, 20 of 36 passes for 218 yards with a touchdown and 2 picks. Tampa Bay now 9-7, a 48-14 home win at Carolina. The Bucs put up 551 yards, 202 rushing for 5 yards a carry. On defense, they held the Panthers to 204 yards, 39 rushing on 13 carries. Baker Mayfield, 27 of 32 passing for 359 yards and 5 touchdowns. A Tampa Bay win or tie and they win the NFC South. The Bucs offense over the past 3 games averaging 37 points per game, 5.5 yards per rush, 78% completion rate, 8.9 yards per pass attempt. Saints defense in this period allows 26 points per game with 65% completion rate, 6.6 yards per pass attempt. Tampa Bay at home this season allowing 4.9 yards a carry. They've gone over in 4 of 5. The pick here will be on New Orleans and Tampa Bay over 44.5. 49ers and Cardinals Sunday afternoon in the late window here. All right, San Francisco quarterback Purdy, the receiver Samuel out, tight end Kittle and right tackle questionable. On defense, the nickelback is out with safety questionable. Arizona receiver Wilson questionable. On defense, the linebacker and corner questionable here. San Francisco 6-10, a 40-34 home defeat to Detroit. The 49ers gained 475 yards, 75 rushing for 4.2 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 439 yards to the Lions with 152 rushing for 4.6 yards a carry. Brock Purdy here, 27-35 passing for 317 yards with 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. Arizona now 7-9 with their 13-9 road defeat to the Rams. The Cardinals put up 296 yards, 113 rushing for 5 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 257 yards to the Rams with 68 rushing for 3.1 yards a carry. Kyle Murray, 33 of 48 passing for 321 yards with a touchdown and 2 picks. They were playoff eliminated before that game, by the way, and still put up a good fight. Both teams are playoff eliminated. Arizona has significant injury advantage based on the Chow ratings. It is on each side of the ball there. The 49ers offense has the lowest health rating, 63.3. Also, their players on the IR, like McCaffrey. Joshua Dobbs, the starter quarterback for the 49ers, a backup for his career, who's averaged 62% completion rate, but only 5.8 yards per pass attempt. The 49ers 1-6 in spread on the road. At home, the Cardinals have rushed for 5.5 yards a carry, 71% completion rate, 7.3 yards per pass attempt. The 49ers on the road give up 28 points a game. Pick here will be on Arizona minus 4.5. Seahawks and Rams Sunday afternoon. We got Seattle here 9-7 after a 6-3 road win in Chicago. The Seahawks gained 179 yards, 103 rushing for 4.5 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 265 yards to the Seahawks with 122 rushing for 4.9 yards a carry. Geno Smith 17-23 passing for 160 yards. LA 10-6, a 13-9 home win to Arizona. The Rams put up 257 yards, 68 rushing for 3 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 396 yards to the Cardinals with 283 passing yards on 48 attempts. Matthew Stafford 17-32 passing for 189 yards. The Rams have clinched the NFC West. They're locked into a 3 seed. They host a playoff game next week. There are playoff games on Saturday as a short week next week. It's always possible, right? We don't know these things. Geno Smith is expected to play the entire game. Seattle, in their past 3 games, have allowed 4 yards per rush, only 5.8 yards per pass attempt. Their offense has struggled in this period, put up just 14 points a game, only 5.8 yards per pass attempt. Would expect a vanilla game plan for LA. Keep the snaps to the most minimum, run the clock, run the football. The Rams have gone under here now as well in 3 straight. Pick here will be on Seattle and LA under 38.5. Dolphins and Jets here Sunday afternoon. All right, Miami quarterback Tua doubtful. His receiver Hill and Waddle questionable. Their left tackle also questionable. On defense, a linebacker out with another linebacker and safety questionable. It's New York tight end Conklin, right guard and right tackle questionable. On defense, a tackle questionable here. So Miami now 8-8 after a 20-3 road win at Cleveland. The Dolphins gained 280 yards, 74 rushing for 2.7 yards a carry. On defense, they held the Browns at 176 yards. With 114 rushing for 4 yards a carry. Tyler Huntley, 22 of 26 passes for 225 yards with a touchdown. New York now drops to 4-12, a 40-14 road defeat to the Buffalo. The Jets posted 281 yards, 112 rushed for 5.3 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 348 yards to the Bills. Offense here with 251 passing on 28 attempts. Aaron Rodgers, 12 of 18 passes for 112 yards and 2 interceptions. Miami needs a win or Broncos loss to make the playoffs. These teams play at the same time. Dolphins defense over their past 3 games, allowing 13 points and 4.9 yards per pass attempt. The Jets defense over the past 3 games got 28 points a game, 67% completion rate, 6.7 yards per pass attempt. New York is filled to win and cover 5 of 7 at home. Pick here will be on Miami +1. Chargers at Raiders Sunday afternoon. LA wide receiver Joshua Palmer out on defensive linebackers out with a safety questionable. Las Vegas running back Abdullah out. The defensive starters are healthy. Max Crosby on IR. The Chargers have a clear injury advantage based on the Charger ratings. The highest rating, the Chargers offense at 90.8. The lowest health rating, the Raiders defense at 73.8. They got players on the IR. LA 10-6 with a 40-7 road win at New England. The Chargers put up 428 yards, 147 rushing for 4 yards a carry. On defense, they allowed 181 yards to the Patriots with 85 passing yards on 24 attempts. Justin Herbert, 26-38 passing for 281 yards with 3 touchdowns. Las Vegas improved to 4-12, a 25-10 win on the road in New Orleans. The Raiders put up 338 yards, 156 rushing for 4.1 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 269 yards to the Saints with 188 passing yards on 36 attempts. Aiden O'Connell, 20-35 passing for 232 yards, 2 picks. With the Steelers' loss, the Chargers can avoid the Ravens in the wild card round here in the first round with a win. That would send LA to Houston to play the Texans, which would be a weaker opponent. Also means head coaches Jim Harbaugh brothers can avoid meeting his brother in the first round. So I think that's another edge there for the Chargers. LA offense in great form over their past 3 games, averaging 30 points, 68% completion rate. LA on the road has held teams to 13 points per game, 5.3 yards per pass attempt. Las Vegas in their past 3 games averaging just over 17 points a game, just 3.3 yards per rush, 60% completion rate, just only 5.9 yards per pass attempt. The Chargers have covered. They have covered 6 of 8 on the road. Pick here will be on Chargers minus 6.5. Chiefs and the Broncos. This one here on Sunday afternoon. All right, we got Casey quarterback Patrick Mahomes, tight end Travis Kelce doubtful, running back Pacheco and the right tackle out. Many on defense are doubtful. Denver starters on offense, defense healthy. Denver has a massive injury advantage based on the child rating. Denver's team is very healthy. Their health rating 92.2. Chiefs low rating based on just sitting starters. That's about it. I mean, that's and playing reserves here. Casey now 15-1, a 29-10 road win at Pittsburgh. The Chiefs gained 389 yards, 69 rushing for 3.5 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 365 yards to the Steelers with 202 passing yards on 6.5 yards a carry. Patrick Mahomes here, 29-38 passing for 320 yards with 3 touchdowns. Denver now 9-7, a 30-24 overtime defeat at Cincinnati. The Broncos posted 329 yards, 123 rushing for 4.6 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 499 yards to the Bengals with 384 passing yards on 39 attempts. Bo Nix, 24-31 passing for 219 yards with 3 touchdowns and 2 picks. Kansas City has clinched the top seed in the AFC. Denver must win to make the playoffs, and with a loss, they are eliminated based on a Cincinnati win. So that's one of the other teams that are in the mix. Mahomes will likely not play. Carson Wentz expected to start a quarterback. He threw 2 passes this season and 24 last year with the Rams as a backup. Wentz is a former starter, and the Chiefs have quality backups to work with here in the passing game, running game as well. Broncos defense over the past 3 games has allowed 26 points per game, 67% completion rate, 6.8 yards per pass attempt. Don't expect an Andy Reid coach here with backups to lay down to a divisional rival. He's had some success here in these kind of spots with none to play for. He does get these backups to play for him here. And of course, point spread is a massive edge here as well. Pick here will be on KC plus 11.5. All right, so the big one here on Sunday night, Vikings and Lions here. We got Minnesota starters on offense, defense healthy. Detroit starters on offense and defense healthy as well, but the Lions have several key starters on the IR. That's the difference. Minnesota has a significant injury advantage based on the Doc Child rating. The lowest health rating, the Lions defense here, 75.8. Minnesota now 14-2 with their 27-25 home win at Green Bay. The Vikings gained 441 yards, 69 rushing for 2.7 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 271 yards to the Packers with 167 passing yards on 30 attempts. Sam Darnold here, 33 of 43 passing with 377 yards with 3 touchdowns and a pick. Detroit now 14-2 with a 40-34 road win at San Francisco. The Lions put up 439 yards, 152 rushing for 4.6 yards a carry. Defensively, they allowed 475 yards to the 49ers with 400 yards passing on 40 attempts. 400 yards passing they gave up. Jared Goff, 26-34 passing for 303 yards and 3 touchdowns. Winner of this game is the NFC North champion. Will get a bye in the first round of the playoffs. The loser is the 5th seed and must play in the wild card round again next week, likely against the NFC South champion, the way it looks based on the records here. The Vikings have gone 4-1 of the spread against the division. The Lions in their past 5 games put up 39 points per game while surrendering 33. Their defense in this period allowing 4.8 yards per rush, 69% completion rate, 9.5 yards per pass attempt. Lions passing game at home averages 284 yards with 71% completion rate, 7.9 yards per pass attempt. The Vikings over this 3-game period throwing for 268 yards per game, 6.8 yards per pass attempt, and 28 points a game. The Lions had trouble getting stops against an injury-riddled 49ers team last week, right? 400 passing yards to Purdy. The pick here will be on Minnesota-Detroit over 56. For more free pick videos, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And if you're looking for my best bets, my pre and plays, click that link in the description. That'll take to my page here at TonySpicks.com. And if you like this video, give us a like, a thumbs up. You really help our channel. I'm Tony T. We'll talk to you later.